What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel for another video. If you guys are new here, my name is Stefan Marquardt and I make content about business, entrepreneurship, and just my journey to the bag. If you like content like that, go ahead and subscribe to my channel, and while you're down there, go ahead and smash that like button. So in today's video, I want to talk about how exactly I went about starting my very first business, how I quit my 9-to-5 job and really never looked back since. So if you're somebody looking to start your own business or looking to escape the 9-to-5 slavery lifestyle, then go ahead and watch the video all the way to the end, and hopefully you get some kind of motivation out of this. So if you guys follow me on IG, you'll see I usually post about my mission stations, knocking out the line, taking care of customers. And this business is a smog station, or some states call it emission testing. But this is the very first business I started in 2015. And I pretty much took a leap of faith, pretty much quit my job and just started doing this full time. And I've never really looked back since. In 2015, I used to work in this gas station. After having a criminal record and coming out of prison, I didn't have too many options for jobs. I was going back to school and trying to figure it out what I wanted to do with my life. I just know I didn't want to be in trouble. I didn't want to go back to jail, and I didn't necessarily want to follow the wrong crowd, but I still didn't know what I wanted to do with the rest of my life. So I figured I couldn't lose by just getting a career, getting a degree, and pretty much just retiring with some kind of pension plan. I figured that was the best I could do at this point in my life. As I was working that gas station job and I started to look for knowledge, I found YouTube and I started following some channels like Graham Stephan and other financial literacy channels, and it slowly started to change my mindset and my perspective on things. When I got this job at the gas station, I just started off as a regular part-time cashier because I was still in school at the time. But when I was watching these YouTube videos and I started listening to podcasts and I started to basically taking all this knowledge, it slowly started to change my mindset on things. So now I was working this 9-to-5 job, but I was putting my all into this job. Like, I was going over the top. I was doing other people's job. I was basically trying to prove to my employer that I was ready for that next step, whatever it was. And fast forward about a year later, the manager at the time had left. Luckily for me, while he was the manager at the gas station, he would teach me some things about how to do spreadsheets and how to keep track of numbers, how to balance shifts and registers and payroll and do all those things. So when he left to start his own business, this was the perfect opportunity for me to step up to the plate and prove what I had. So I became the new manager basically at the gas station, and even though there were some people who were there before I was, now I was in a position where I was making their schedules, I was writing their checks, I was pretty much balancing their shift and somewhat in a way telling them what to do. So I had a manager position, but the pay wasn't crazy. I was making like between $400 to $500 a week, so pretty much like $10 to $12 an hour. That's why I was getting paid, which was more than I was ever getting paid before up to that point. So it wasn't bad for where I was in the position, but I just knew that I wanted much more out of life. So a year after becoming the manager of the gas station, the owner actually decided that he was going to get out of the gas station business and he was going to be selling that station. So here I was in this position where the owner of this gas station was about to sell the entire gas station, and I was left pretty much just having to work for somebody else. But seeing how things was going so great, me being the manager, and he was so impressed by my work ethic that he gave me an alternative to partner up with him on the emission business. Now, the deal was that I would put in all the sweat equity, or I would do all the work, and he would put up the money necessary to start the business as far as equipment, licensing, insurance, just things of that nature. And it would be a 50-50 split. I would work all the hours and he would put up the money and we would split the profit. So this was the first time in my life where I wasn't paid based on my time. I didn't have an hourly amount. My pay would be contingent on how much business the emission station made. So this was a huge leap of faith. I've never done anything like this before in my life, but I knew that I had to take some kind of chance if I wanted to get to the next step. So I did what I had to do. I went out there, we started that business. It started off a little slow, slowly started to get some traction. There were weeks where I only made $200-300. There was weeks I made $1,000. But it wasn't a guaranteed check. Like if I put in 50 hours, I'm guaranteed to get $600. It was nothing like that, because the expenses and the rent came first, and then we split profits later. So this was the first time in my life where I was actually engaged in something like this, where my pay wasn't directly tied to how many hours I put in. So it was a very scary time in my life. And, looking back in retrospect, obviously I'm glad I took the leap, but at the current time, it was very hard to make that decision and move forward. All I wanted to do was just get another job that would just guarantee me a certain amount every week. But like I said, by listening to enough podcasts and YouTube and financial literacy material, I knew that by staying in this bubble, there was only so far I can go in life. And I didn't want to go through the rest of my life with this mentality of trapping myself into a job. So I decided to take a risk, take a chance. So I was working that station, everything was going good for the most part. I was getting a regular check. Some months was low, some months was a little bit higher, but at least I was getting some kind of payment. So as I started to run the business and learn more about the business, I felt comfortable enough in opening my second location, and then a few months later opening my third location. Now I did so with the plan of eventually just leaving this partnership agreement I was in and just going and running my own locations and profiting my own money. So while I was still running that location under a partnership deal, I had 2 other locations going. I had employees at those locations that I was paying, and sometimes I wasn't even making a profit at those locations, but I was just hoping to build the business over time to eventually be profitable. When the time came, I had both those businesses running. I decided that I wanted to put all my effort into my own businesses and pretty much just leave the partnership arrangement that we had already established. So when I proposed this to my partner that I was going to be leaving, I was going to give him some time to get a replacement. He pretty much gave me the ultimatum of just buying him out of the business. The price he threw out there was so outrageous, and I'm just throwing it out there. It was $70,000. I never had that kind of money. I've never seen that kind of money before. And at the time, I really didn't have good credit established at the time. I really had no credit. So I knew I couldn't get my hands on that money. So based on the relationship that we had going back to even the gas station, he was willing to seller finance me if I was able to come up with $10,000. So I knew this was a great deal. I had 3 years to pay this business off. All I had to do was come up with $10,000. Now, if I wouldn't have been opening up different locations, then I would have definitely had the money. But I had been spending everything I had, just investing all my money into these businesses, just going all in. So I didn't even have $10,000 to put down on this business. So I ended up reaching out to all my family members, borrowing whatever money I could, $1,000 here, $1,000 there. I ended up title pawning my car that I was driving every day and had huge interest payments every month on that. But one way or the other, I came up with that money. So we came up to the signing table. I put my $10,000 down. We made a 3-year agreement to have this business paid off for the remainder of the $60,000, and I was right at it. And I had 3 locations now. I never imagined me being in this position a couple years back, but somehow I was in a position where I had 3 locations now, and I was making a little bit of money, and the future was looking pretty bright. So this hustle gave it everything I had. I actually ended up putting some money into another business that I started, which was my car dealership, which I'll talk about in a separate video. And let me know down in the comments, guys, if you're interested in seeing that video, how I started my car dealership. So I was investing all my money into the dealership and these locations, and pretty much still living with my girlfriend in her mother's basement. It was embarrassing to tell people, but I knew that I had to do something with my life and I had to take a chance. And even if that meant being embarrassed for a few years so my business could take off, I was willing to do that. And even other people that I told like how much I paid for that business, they told me I was dumb. They told me, I didn't know what I was doing. But I knew that with the right moves, I can make this business blow. I could use the profit, invest in other businesses, and I had a feeling inside that I had to give this a shot. If it didn't work out, then at least I knew I would have tried, but I couldn't live with the regret of not even giving it a shot. So pretty much I stuck through it all, the whole 3 years, ended up paying off this business. Got to the point where pretty much I didn't really have any debt on this business, and I was able to invest pretty much all the profit from this business into other things, which led me to my Turo business. This emission station business started getting good credit with the banks I was dealing with, and they had been reaching out to me for business loans. And when I heard about Turo, and some of my other friends were already doing Turo, had a couple of rental cars out there, I decided to take a leap of faith and go out and get a $45,000 business loan in the name of my emission business. So if it wasn't for this business, I might not have even got into the Turo rental car business and might not have been able to put out great Turo content, which you guys all enjoy. So it's just amazing how one thing led to another, which led me to this point in my life where I'm running the Turo business, I'm running a couple of my emission stations, I'm investing money into the stock markets and crypto, I'm starting a YouTube channel. Life just has a crazy snowball effect. So if you guys stick with it and just stay focused and be willing to sacrifice, you can literally have anything you want. So now this business, I pretty much run it passively. I have employees that work and I pay them a payroll, and I still make money off this business without really having to put a lot of hours in. I put very little time into this station, and mostly I'm just doing deposits and doing payroll, and I get paid a regular check every week for doing that. And even when I'm not around, even when I travel, go out of state, go out the country, this business is like a well-oiled machine. It just keeps making money, and I'm able to take that money and invest into other things. But the most important thing is I own my time. I have time to do what I want and things that I need to get done, things that are important to me, like spending time with my family, and also having time to do things like even just this YouTube channel, which is very time consuming. I'm able to take time and put it into this because I know that it can grow and flourish into something that I can turn into a real business. But none of these things would have been possible if I didn't take that leap of faith and pretty much chase those dreams. I didn't wake up one day and say, I want to start a rental car business, I want to start a dealership, I want to start a mission station. These were just opportunities that presented themselves to me, and I just took advantage of that. So that would be my advice for everybody watching this video. If you guys want to escape the 9-to-5 life and you want to chase your own dreams, sometimes those opportunities come across your path in the shape or form of something different, and you just have to be willing to try things, to get out of your comfort zone, to take that chance, because the people who don't take chances, those are the ones who work a 9-to-5 for the rest of their life and hope that they have some kind of pension plan waiting on them. But this is my advice to you guys: go out there, follow your dreams, take risk, take chance, watch what you put into your mind, absorb the right content, because if it wasn't for me watching all those YouTube videos and following all those people online, I might not have taken that risk. I would have thought it was too risky, it wasn't worth the chance, just stay in my lane. But I'm so glad that I didn't have those thoughts, and I made sure that I pushed myself and I stayed on track. Now I'm not where I want to be, not even close, but now I could take the time into putting it into other things. So that's what I would advise for you guys to do the same. Just chase your dreams. Don't let anybody tell you can't do it, but you definitely have to get out of your comfort zone and start taking advantage of opportunities that are presenting themselves to you, and not trying to wait until the perfect situation aligns itself up with all the stars. Sometimes things just don't work like that. So I hope you guys got some motivation out of this video, out of my story. If there's anything you guys want to know about, go ahead and drop it down in the comments, and any videos you guys want to see in the future, this is what I'm here for. And as always, guys, if you haven't subscribed yet, go ahead and do so. Also smash that like button while you're down there, and tune in with me next week for another video. I would definitely appreciate it. Catch you guys in the next video.